Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your daily tarot reading. It is Tuesday and it is the 12th of October 2021. Today I am working with the Dreaming Way Tarot. I love the backs of these cards. I love the colors and everything about this deck. I do really enjoy it. I like the vibrancy of the green and the yellows. Is such an awesome deck. So I have shuffled and drawn out three cards to give us the energy of the day, something positive and something to be mindful of, or a negative. I don't like using the word negative. Let's have a look and see what does the energy of the day have in store for us. So the energy, oh my word, if I can pick it up. Can't pick it up. Right, we have got the Knight of Swords, so that's interesting. Knight of Swords says that we're running away with our thoughts. So you can see that the horse is in motion. You can see even by the person's hair that there's activity, that there's movement, and with the particular card. And Swords is the suit of the mind. So it's telling you that you may find yourself going from 0 to 100 instantly in your head. Panic, fear, anxiety, stress, concern, but also just that desire for change, that desire for action, that desire for movement. So that's a very interesting card for a Tuesday, because Tuesdays are normally a little bit slower than usual, but we have an enthusiasm within us today. And I do think yesterday we had I think it was the Fool. Because I remember thinking it was such an awesome card for the beginning of the week. So you may find that this is a continuation from that, because the Fool gave us excitement for the week ahead and enthusiasm for the week ahead. And now when we get the Knight of Swords, it's like, okay, so I've got my plan now, my strategy. I know what I want to do. Now I want to get on and do it. So you may find yourself feeling quite anxious to get going today, which I think is great. Let's get stuff done. Let's work on whatever our plans are, whatever our strategy is, and let's just get stuff done before we run out of time. And I know it's only Tuesday. There's still a whole, many days of the week, but I think this is such a good energy. Let's have a look and see the positive that we need to factor into this today. I'm not where these cards are so straight and so flat, I can't pick them up. Oh, you see, okay. So the card we've got here is the Judgment card. And here we have these angelic beings blowing their horns, blowing their trumpets, sort of attracting our attention. The Judgment card is about being honest and truthful. It's about standing in your power, if I can use that word, and not fearing the consequences of who and what you are. So, and judgment is a word that we all struggle with, isn't it? We all try not to be judgmental. We hate the thought of somebody judging us. So there's a lot of attachment to this particular word. The interesting thing as well, you've got this desire within you to get going. You've got this desire to do stuff, to achieve, to get busy, to accomplish almost. But obviously here, even though this is a positive card for the energy of the day, but there's this kind of fear of what happens if I'm wrong, what happens if I fail, what happens if, and Spirit is saying to embrace that and say, well, what if you don't? Let's turn that judgment around into a positive and saying, instead of what happens if you fail, but what happens if you don't? Okay. I also think when the Judgment card comes up in a reading, it's also a message to say, listen out for what Spirit are doing. They're trying to attract your attention. They're blowing here in South Africa, we call it the vuvuzela. They're blowing the vuvuzela, which is not always a pleasant sound, but it's something that we do in celebration, in acknowledgement, to be heard. Okay, so the angels are blowing the vuvuzela and saying to you, go for it, go for it. Don't fear the consequences, don't fear the judgment. Just take it as a sign from Spirit. Whatever it is that you want to do today, this is your sign to go for it and do it. Don't overthink it. Don't get caught up in your mind. Don't get caught up in your thoughts. Don't get caught up in your stresses and your anxieties. Just go for it. Go for it. Embrace it today. Go for it, because the timing is right. So whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, and if it's sitting on your mind, and even yesterday the whole day it was sort of sitting in your head thinking, maybe I should, take this as your sign today that today is really good energy to do that. Let's have a look and see something that we need to be a little bit cautious of, mindful of, something. And again, the cards are not turning for me today. Okay. So it's interesting how the story starts, and then as we open the cards or turn the cards over, the story sort of evolves a little bit. So we've got swords on either end of the judgment. Okay, so swords is the suit of the intellect, the mind, the thinking. And if we have a look at this two of swords, so she's sitting on what looks like snow. We seem to be in the northern hemisphere in the middle of winter here. She's blindfolded. Okay, she's got two swords and they look really sharp swords in her hand, which means that she can defend herself, which means that she can cut through the nonsense. The fact that she's blindfolded, it's obviously something she's done to herself. So I'm going to say it's a conscious decision that she's made because she's afraid to look. And that comes back to this judgment card. She's afraid to look. She's afraid of facing what's right there in front of her. So she's choosing to be blindfolded. She's at the defensive, which means that she's ready to swipe with her swords if needs be. But the swords are also here with the Two of Swords are saying that you're not looking properly. You're not seeing things that are right there in front of you. You're allowing your perceptions to guide you. So her perception is that she's in danger, which is why she's got her two swords at the ready. But maybe whoever is standing in front of her that she is perceiving as dangerous, scary, or whatever it may be, unwanted, maybe they're actually there to help her and not to hinder her. But because she's not facing the reality and facing the truth, she's not seeing it for what it is. So, friends, for Tuesday, for today, this is Spirit saying to get on and do whatever you need to do. Don't let your mind stop you from achieving it. It's as simple as that. Get on and do it. The timing is right. But if you spend too much time thinking, this is where you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with analysis paralysis. And we don't want to get into that mindset of analysis paralysis. The timing is really, really good to implement and to act on that which you have been thinking about for the longest time. So go and do it. Alrighty. Do have an awesome Tuesday. And as always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again tomorrow, take care.